He was blind the majority of his life. When we had adopted him, they had suspected blind in one eye, and then he ended up losing complete sight in his other eye about a year or 2 years after we had him. So from the age of 3, 4, all the way up until when we lost him, which he was about 11, he had been blind. Towards the end of his life, he had developed an ulcer in that right eye, which is why it looks how it does. Plus, he had 2 mature cataracts that he had since he was 5 on, that he was completely unfazed by and didn't bother him whatsoever. I had looked into getting the cataracts removed, but his tear ducts in one of his eyes only worked at 50% capacity. So the removal wasn't going to benefit him. If anything, it was going to cause him stress and pain due to the inability to properly drain from that eye, from what we were told. So we had made the decision to not have his cataracts removed since they weren't affecting him any, and he knew no other life other than to be blind for the majority anyway, and he had adapted so well. As you can see, he was unfazed whatsoever all the way up to his last day. All we can say is he had an amazing life. He was a very, very happy, jolly puppy all this entire time, but the beginning of his life before we had adopted him, it was rough. When we found him, he was scheduled to be euthanized. He had just a few days left to live. They had rescued him from a hoarding situation with about 30 something other dogs, and they had a harder time adopting him out due to the fact that he was blind. So when we made the decision to adopt him, we were specifically looking for a dog that had a sad story and a hard time getting adopted, because we had the means to adopt at that time, and we wanted to take in an animal that didn't have a high chance. So that's Ajax's story.